hour. I
Ooh,
say,
yay,
as
let's get the
people are
party
joining
started.
in, let's get the party started. And just for the people before you start, Heather, if you
Yeah,
notice you're
sure.
trying to talk and we moved you over and you can't speak, it's because the microphones have been muted, cameras have been muted, just so we can have all our wonderful focus on Chef Alyssa. So if you're like, what's going on? We have a new kind of setup here. So please, we love your chats. Chat into us. And Heather, I'm going to hand it over to you.
All right, thank you. Well, excited to be here and nice to see our community gathering again. And like Allison just said, I don't think we're going to need a lot of these guidelines here because we've taken care of that. But of course, we invite your questions and comments in through the chat. We'll keep an eye on that as we go through our time together today. Make sure that we get anything addressed by Chef before you leave.
I,
Um, Yes, there's Chef.
I,
Just in time for introductions.
yeah,
So here's your team with you today from Kaiser. So we've got Chef Alyssa, a personal chef, amazing culinary skills, the flavors she puts together. We're so lucky to have her here sharing
aw,
her wisdom and her skills and her knowledge with us. And then we partnered with Allison Welch, who just made 20 years with Kaiser. I just want to highlight that. So congratulations. We're lucky to have all of Allison's wisdom with us and experience. And then myself, so she's over on the Big Island. Then we got myself, Heather Charles, 15 years of experience, wellness coach based on Maui. So you have a wealth of information and access here today. So welcome everybody. Now, before we kind of get into the topic today, just want to touch on this. Like, why is this important? Why are we all here today? What's so special about whole foods? Well, in addition to cutting your carbon footprint in half, it's also the only diet shown to prevent and reverse chronic disease. Chronic diseases such as type 2 diabetes, coronary artery disease, and that is a really big deal. How often is somebody telling you, yeah, you can reverse this and use food as your medicine? So that's really cool. Now, a whole food plant-based diet actually celebrates food in its most natural form. That means closest to the way that it was grown. So that usually includes fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds. In addition to thinking about what we're adding to our diet, we're also going to minimize things such as refined sugars, processed foods, white flour, and any animal-derived foods. Now, I get that this can seem a little bit daunting, and that's why we're here today to hopefully demonstrate to you how easy this can be, and we can just make a few swaps and try a new recipe, and it can taste good in the process. So on the screen here, you see eat food, not too much, mostly plants, and that was coined by Michael Pollan. He's an American author and journalist, written lots of books about food and health. He coined that phrase, which we like to borrow because it just simplifies everything. Now, while we hope the class today plants that seed of curiosity for healthier cooking, if you want to learn more, I'm also going to put a link in the chat to a video series that Stanford School of Medicine put together in 2016 called Food and Health. We strongly encourage you to check these videos out, you guys. They're short, 3 to 5 minutes, a series of 17 different videos that just give practical skills, information, build on what we're talking about today so we can really capture why we want to do this and how we can do it in the easiest way possible. So let me just put this over here into the chat so you guys can access that at your convenience. There you go. It'll bring you to YouTube. Okay. Now, you should have gotten a few links to handouts in your confirmation email for the class today. Just want to take a brief moment to touch on that, specifically this healthy plate concept. You'll notice here, meat is not really the word that we use. Instead, it says protein. So here we're talking about plant-based protein in this class. That means beans, lentils, tofu. That's what we're focusing on here in this program. The main takeaway from this, we want to make half of our plate vegetables. You want your plate to be really colorful. If your plate looks colorful and inviting to your eyes, you know you're moving in the right direction. So we want to count those plants on your plate instead of just the calories. if you want to learn more about this healthy plate concept, just want to cue you in. We have a separate virtual 90-minute class dedicated to that, taught by a registered dietitian. It's called Get Your Plate in Shape, and it just explores a lot of different variations of meals using this same simple format. But we can share more about that at the end of class today. We're going to take a little bit of time to review the ingredients, and also want to acknowledge that there might be a range of people attending tonight. Some of you, it might be your first time here, and you're just wondering, what is this all about? Right? How do I get those vegetables on my plate? And some of you may be more advanced and really eating exclusively plant-based at this point. But we're here to just support wherever you are and keep you moving in that direction that you choose to go at the pace that you choose to go. That being said, the recipes are adaptable to your personal tastes and preferences. Again, if you need a question, need a substitution, put it into the chat. We'll give Chef the opportunity to answer those questions and share those ideas as we go along. So I just want to highlight for you where you can find the links to the recipes. We're going to pull them up in just a minute. So you can also take a screenshot if that's easier for you. But otherwise, in the class confirmation email, it's got a link to the plant-based eating resources, that healthy plate I just went over, our class flyer for the year, because we hope you'll keep coming every month to join us and building up your repertoire of recipes. And then the links to the recipes we're going to do today. So did I miss anything, Allison, before
Wow,
we get
Heather,
into
I am so impressed.
talking
You just
fast and
got it all. I
furious?
know, because we want to get it to the chef. No,
I
you got it
know, I
all,
know.
Heather.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, good, good, good. And so let's take a look at the recipes we have for today. So today's topic is healthy snacks, and Chef put together 3 different ideas for us. And so I'm going to pass the baton over to her to just kind of review these ingredients, and we'll take the PowerPoint down, and you will just focus on Chef and her cooking.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're going to start talking about the fruit, nut, and seed bars.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to use almonds and we're going to grind them up. And what I found is you can either use whole almonds, or I found slivered almonds. So we're going to start off with slivered almonds. So you can use, you know, like Heather had mentioned earlier, you can kind of play with different ingredients based on what you like and have on hand. And then we're going to process in some pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds, you know, so everything is kind of processed down, ground up. And then we're going to add in our dates and our apricots, which makes things kind of sticky and adhere together. And then once we have that all mixed in, we're going to put that into a mixing bowl and add in some oats and some salt. Mix that in, and then I usually put gloves on, and then I add in some apple juice or water to just kind of make a cohesive mix. And then we're going to use a musubi mold. So I thought it might be kind of fun, since we have a musubi mold that we used last class to make musubis. This is another way you can make use of a mold, or not. We can talk about the other option too if you don't have one on hand.
Yes.
So that's the first recipe.
Great. Those look really, and thanks, Allison, for putting it into the chat as well.
Just in case, yeah, I'll put them in the chat for you guys.
Perfect. Okay, then we have the edamame dip.
Okay, so the edamame, I went ahead and cooked the edamame. You just cook it according to the package instructions. And then along with the edamame, we have some ripe avocado, some garlic, lemon and lime juice, green onions, and salt, pepper, and some sort of spice like cayenne, something a little, give it a little kick. And we're going to cook the edamame, drain it, and then we're going to process everything together and get it to a nice smooth consistency, kind of like a hummus, and then just adjust the flavors to taste. So a nice simple recipe that we can use for just snacking on. I personally tend to get hungry in the late afternoon, mid to late afternoon. So something like this would be just great to, you know, have with some sticks, veggie sticks. I really like cucumber sticks, carrot sticks, or even some crackers. Yeah.
Sounds delicious and pretty simple, all in one little pot.
Very simple.
All right, and then the last one we got is the snack balls.
Yeah, so the snack balls, again, we're going to, all 3 recipes, we're going to use a food processor. We're going to blend together some almond flour, some dates, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, some oats. You can have protein powder if you want. And then we have almond butter, could be another nut butter if you want. We're going to use almond extract today, a little bit of salt. Then we're going to portion them out into little balls shape, and we're going to roll them. So the options for the rolling are just listed here, are sesame seeds, cocoa or cacao powder, and some sort of a crushed nut. I like really finely chopped walnuts myself. That's kind of nice. But today we're going to be doing sesame seeds. That's my ultimate favorite.
Ooh, packed with nutrition as well.
Yes.
Okay, good. Then I'm going to go ahead and take this down and we'll highlight
Okay.
your screen.
Yep.
All right.
And just as she's doing that, everyone, you should see in the center, I've spotlighted the Cuisinart there. If for whatever reason you're clicking around and you miss, you can click on that one with the Cuisinart and it'll come back to the center. And I hope everyone can see it. You can chat in yes, but it should be front and center for you guys.
I know it is for me.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Looks
Okay.
beautiful, Chef. Let's
Okay.
go.
Thank you. All right. So we're going to start. Like I mentioned, sometimes I like to buy nuts at some like Costco or Sam's Club or something like that, where you can buy a big bag, keep it in the freezer, just because in Hawaii with the heat, nuts can go rancid. But I was out of almonds. So then I thought, well, I'll go to the little health market here in Oahu called Down to Earth and get my seeds as well as the nuts, and the whole nuts were like twice as much as the slivered almonds, which I thought was so interesting. So I thought, well, really, this is a lot easier to pulse down into smaller sizes. Sometimes whole nuts can be, especially when you grind almonds in a food processor, it can be really kind of loud and kind of rumbling around in there, depending upon the size of your processor. So I decided to choose the slivered almonds. So I'm going to put these in, and I am going to grind this. I'm going to pulse it and until I can get it broken down a bit. So it's going to be a little noisy, so bear with me. Oh, well, it would help if I'm plugged in. Oh, this way. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so this is partially broken down, and I'm going to now add in the pumpkin seeds and the sunflower seeds. These are all raw. For some reason you have salted, then you would just omit the salt that the recipe calls for. Okay, I'm going to process it again. All right, so you can see it's kind of ground down a little bit. And then what I have is I have half a cup of dates that I have cut into small pieces. I'm going to put this in the food processor. And then I have some apricots. And again, I have cut into small pieces. And I am going to pulse these so it starts sticking together. Usually what I do is I just start kind of feeling to see if it'll clump together. So I'm going to do just a little bit more. If it takes a long time to clump, you can also add another date or another apricot to kind of move things along. Kind of depends upon the fruit that you have. Okay. Yeah, it's sticking together. So now I'm going to transfer this to a bowl. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move this back and put this in the camera. like that. See if I can gracefully do this without making too much of a mess.
Looks good so far.
I was
Well,
just
thank
going
you.
to say, Heather, the link of like, look at that gorgeous, healthy, beautiful bowl of food. It's making me so happy.
Aw. Okay, so I'm going to move that out of the way. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. And I'm going to add some oats. And then I'm going to put a glove on because it gets kind of sticky. I'm going to mix this together. And then I'm going to add my liquid.
What was the liquid that you put in?
It could be apple juice or water. It could be, or it could be any kind of juice you have. You don't have to go out and spend $3+ on a bottle of apple juice if you don't, you know. It could be orange juice. There's enough sweetness too with your apricots and dates that, okay, if it's just water. Okay.
Really
so you
didn't
can
take a
see-
lot. That's great.
No, it didn't, does it? Yeah. It didn't, does it? It's so many proper English. Okay, so I have a non-stick, excuse me, I have parchment lined baking sheet. Push. Let's see, what's the best way to do this without making, oh my, keeping my food processor here. I have my musubi mold. And let me take this off now. So this is about, trying to measure, it's about 1/3 of a cup. At least that's what for this mold is. And you're going to get, if you do this shape, we can talk about other options too after I just kind of demo this. So I put that in, I push it through, I slide it off. And then if you want to add just a little bit of something on top, I save kind of reserved pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, date, just to kind of make it have a little.
It's like decorating it.
Yes,
You know,
I call it make
yeah.
it pretty, but I know that's not really proper English.
Now, is it okay as she's doing that? We just had a question. You know, I was just going to address something that Joan wrote in there, you know, thinking that it's high carb. And just remember, this is, you know, an energy, like in the word, and carbohydrates do have energy. It's a good energy bar and snack. And you can, I like the idea, Heather, we can make notes for nutritional information in the future. But kind of, it is always important to know what, you know, you can eat and what's good. We have lots of classes for with pre-diabetes, diabetes to give you ideas of the amounts of food. So I hope that helps. Just wanted to answer that in the chat, Heather.
Yeah,
Thank
and I know
you.
some dietitian, I wish I was trying to find the link, but there are some websites where you can type in the ingredients and it will kick that information out that I know the dietitians have sometimes recommended. If I find it, I will pass it along.
Yeah, this one actually came from the KCC Dash of Aloha cookbook. And initially it had originally some quinoa flakes in. So along the lines of what we were talking about, date sugar, quinoa flakes are not like the most common thing you find in grocery stores. So with the quinoa flakes, because in that Dash cookbook, I was looking at it too. I have it right here. The quinoa flakes added a little bit of protein. So it was 8 grams of protein per bar, which I thought was pretty impressive. So I don't know with the oats, it might drop down a bit, but it's nice to know that there's, you know, a balance.
I'm sure the
right?
nuts, yeah, all the nuts
Yeah.
are going to give healthy
Yeah.
fats,
Yeah, right.
yep, protein.
So there are those recipes you can plug in and they will give you the nutritional breakdown.
Love that you're using the musubi mold. We did use this last time, Heather. I know you weren't with us. And so it's fun to have gadgets, but it's also fun if you can use them for more than one thing. So I
Right.
love that. This is a great idea
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. I do too, because they turn out to be wonderful. I don't need to do more, or I can show you a couple other options, but I did bake a batch before class, so I'll show you what I did. Let me just show you one of the things, because if you don't have a mold, well, let me just show you one idea, is you can do half, and I just push it through. Just make it like a square. And this is a great little size to nosh on. It's a piece of, you see, I'm just putting a little bit of seeds and nuts on top. It does add a little bit of just makes it a little more attractive. See, so you could make it, well, I guess I'll have to put this in front of the camera. See, so you can make a different size like that. The other option you can do, my hands are getting kind of sticky, but is take the whole mix and put it in, this is a cutting mat here, this green cutting mat.
Can you push the cutting mat forward a little bit so we can see
I will.
There we go.
Yeah, my hands are so sticky.
Part of the joys of cooking, right?
That is the fun, the
Yeah.
textures,
Sticky
the fun.
Glove off. Okay, give me a sec. So this is kind of what I do when I make oat cakes. Or you can make bars. See, so I've kind of just formed it into about the same size. Yeah, I mean, depth, length. And then let me show you another idea. Let me just wash my hands real fast.
Love all
But
these
you could
options,
probably use
right?
like any kind of a cookie cutter and make whatever kind of fun shapes you wanted, right?
Or make the little ball in your hand like something and push it gently down. There are so many options.
Or you
Like a
can
snack
use
cookie.
a
Mhm.
pizza cutter.
Oh,
Oh,
she's getting all those
Yeah.
tools out of the, that we have
Yeah.
hidden under there and
Yeah. So
our
you could just,
drawers.
this is just another way if you want to not have such a big bar, right?
Fantastic.
And then you could put them there and bake them off. They'll have about the same, if you keep them all about the same height, they'll have the same baking time. That's kind of what you want to think about. If you're going to do different sizes or shapes, just try and keep them about the same width. Is that the right height? Would be the right way to describe that, so that they will all bake evenly. Yeah. Any questions?
I don't see anything in the chat so far, but any questions,
Okay.
anybody?
Right.
And are you able to substitute any of the, could you put in a different dried fruit in replace of apricots?
Sure. Let's see. Dates, figs. Figs would be nice.
Figs,
Ooh,
blueberries?
dried cherries. Ooh, whatever
Yeah,
we can get.
I'm
No?
not
Well,
sure as far
we can
as
try.
this. Yeah, of course. They're just thinking of the stickiness, because part of it is like adhering, right? I know that I've got some dried strawberries that are pretty sticky. Blueberries would be really nice though in there, wouldn't it? I bet that would
Ooh.
taste good. And
We got a
cherries.
great one saying sesame and ginger is good too.
Oh,
Sounds
right.
like a
Wait,
great mix.
yeah, I had crystallized ginger. Hold on. Yeah,
Great suggestion.
I was gonna pull it out. So we can put a couple pieces of ginger on here. Are you folks, do you like crystal ginger?
I want to see what it looks like.
I
'Cause I was
love
like,
it,
oh,
but I love ginger.
Oh yeah, they come in slices or cubes. This is from the
okay.
ginger, but you can get it in bulk in
There
the
you go,
health
right
market.
there.
Oh,
Mhm,
sorry. Up like that, right down.
mhm.
There's a little happy, jolly
Happy
Yeah.
ginger root.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that real fast. We'll do some of the small ones with some. It's
Fantastic.
interesting. Some people really like the crystal ginger. Like ginger, but I don't tend to think of it
So
myself.
It's a little blurry. I'm hoping it's going to reset itself in 1 second.
Okay. All right.
There we
That
go.
help?
Look at that. Yeah, I think the camera
Okay.
was just trying to figure out where it wanted to go. Those look fantastic.
Okay, so I'm
I
gonna
feel
pop these in
energized
the,
already.
yeah, I'm gonna pop them in the oven and show you the baked goods, okay? Real quick.
I love that these are easily transportable, right? You can take them in the car with you if you're running errands on the weekends and you know you get that hunger. No, don't go through the drive-through, right? Grab one of these snack bars,
Yeah,
bring
got
them in the
another great
car.
suggestion. You've
Mm-hmm.
got a lot of them here. Cranberry and walnuts. Love these. Keep them coming.
Yeah, and this is what they look like baked. This is the ones that I made before. So you can see once they are fully baked, they are just nice. And I'm gonna wrap these individually in wax paper. And then put them in a Ziploc bag. I figured that's a good way to kind of have them stored. But yeah, these are wonderful little go-to. So I like to cook them until they get kind of brown and crispy on the edges. Yeah, and they're nice and brown underneath. So I have them on that parchment paper. Anyways, this is what the final product looks like. Yes, you can really have fun choosing whatever flavor profile you enjoy.
Look delicious.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna put these to the side.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll go ahead and we will work on the snack balls.
Great. Yeah, did that seem doable to you guys? I like that it's just all put it in the as long as you have a food processor, right? Put it all in there, pulse it a few times, and voila. Yes, okay, good.
All right, I'm gonna put this back. Oh, front and center.
There we go.
All right. And so this recipe calls for, again, dates. So we've got 2 recipes here. Allison, you can use up your
Thank you. Because I
dates.
got excited by something and then you go Costco size and then you look in the pantry, you're like, I forgot what I was going to do with them. So I knew you'd give me a good idea.
Yeah.
It's just a good way to get sweetness without too much. It's a
Mhm.
great one.
Yeah, I just made some zucchini brownies that turned out really good. I was really happy with them. And I thought, oh, just maybe do a date or one of that, or the chocolate pudding. Do a little layer of frosting on top would be kind of fun too.
Oh, you're going to keep us coming back for more classes. Every
I know,
time
I
we
was
just
just
get
thinking like,
excited. Oh, our minds are clicking away for next year,
All
Heather.
kinds of
Yeah.
ideas. Okay, so what I have here, let me just turn this over, follow my recipe. So I've got the dates. And I was saying before class, I used up my Costco box and I wasn't quite sure if I was going to have enough. So I went to Down to Earth and I bought some more dates. And the the Down to Earth dates were really hard and tough. So I soaked them in some boiling water just to loosen them up. And I got the seed out and then I chopped them all up. So that's what I have first. And let's see, drain well, blah, 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 paste in food processor. So I've got my top dates, which is your binding element. And then we have the oats. Now, what I did today was I did a combination of quick oats and some protein powder.
That's a nice tip.
So, yeah, I just it calls for half a cup of quick oats. I just took out a tablespoon. I put a tablespoon of protein powder. It's just a plain unflavored. Just give it a little bit more sustenance. And then I have a 1/4 cup almond flour, which you can find quite readily around in the stores. Actually, buy mine either Costco or Target. Mine at Target. All right. And so I'm going to just give this I've got a little bit of salt. I'm just going to give it a little pulse and then I'm going to add in the almond butter. And I like to add a little bit of almond extract too. I love the flavor of almond.
I do
Like
too. That's a good one.
Just a little almond extract. And I got some almond butter out of the machine. And let's see here, 2 to 4 tablespoons.
And again, if you didn't have almond butter, we would be okay if you had that peanut butter. Yeah, whatever nut butter you prefer.
Sunflower or tahini.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you could have lots of fun with whatever you have and love. Go for it. Okay, let me start here. My goal is just to bind. I could use all of this. Don't want it to be too wet.
Yeah, good to use as natural of a butter as possible, like not, avoiding the Jifs or the Skippies, maybe don't have the hydrogenated oils and the sugars and added things in them. So try to look for as natural ones, or like you have, if you have the option of going somewhere where they have the grinding machine, right? And you can just fill it right up in a container. That's ideal too.
Yeah.
And somebody's asking about the protein powder when you get a chance.
Sure. My food processor is struggling a bit, so I'm going to pour this into a bowl. Then we can talk about the protein powder. One sec. If you don't mind, I'm just going to use the other bowl because it's like flavors. Wait. Okay. Make a mess.
We love this, especially me, because you know how I'm the one in class who's the least experienced, and I am like excited to make these things. So get the fear to go away and have fun. If the processor feels like it's getting a little tired, go to the bowl. I love it.
Yeah, we adapt.
We adapt.
I'm going to see what's up. I'm going to get another glove, see what's up here. Get my hands in.
And we'll have you move the,
thank you.
So we can see the bowl. Thank you. That would be great. We make you work over there, Chef.
No, I appreciate it. What to focus on. Okay.
So yeah, while you're doing that, we just had a question of what brand protein powder did you use?
This is it. Sorry, I just got a
no problem.
This is a good thing. See, that's why it was struggling. There was a seed in there, a date pit, and I did that before too today. So when you are pitting your dates, I had this friend, just a great way, which of course I did not do today, but a great tip is if you're like, you have a date, right, and you're pulling it apart and you're taking out the pit. My friend used to literally count. He used to put the pit over here and he'd put the date over there and he'd put the pit and the date so that he knew, because sometimes you're talking story or, doing something and you lose track. And that's, anyways, my pit ended up, and that's why the blade caught it, and that's why it was having a hard time. Anyways, anything can happen.
Great tip.
Yeah. Okay. So back to protein powder. I've tried all kinds of protein powders, and I usually, personally, I'm just going to add a dribble of water. I usually have a shake, some sort of a protein shake once a day. So I have one that is unflavored. Do you want me to grab it and show it? Is that?
If you can, but I was just going to have your it was just more which one you were using.
Oh, okay. So today I've tried all different kinds. This is the very versatile raw protein Garden of Life. Unflavored, no stevia, 22 grams of protein per scoop. So it's a big scoop too, though. I don't use a whole scoop. But anyways, this is what I have been using. I also have one that's a chocolate flavored one that I like. So I make like a mocha shake quite often. And that is Vega. I think I just threw away the container because I'm at the end. Vega Nutrition. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, so I'm going to work on, I just added a little bit of moisture. It could also have been like a spot of oil.
And I hate to be your producer, but if you could push that a little.
Yes, sorry.
There you go,
Yeah.
right there. We can see it perfectly now. Thank you.
So what I'm going to do here is, let's see, I guess I can move this. Yeah, that is roll it. I have these, you know, I've showed you before, but this is a little one, little scooper. And I can scoop it into a ball, put it into my little bowl of sesame seeds, roll it around, make my little snack ball.
I need to get one of those melon scoopers.
Oh my gosh, I think I have 5 of them, all different sizes. And I just love them.
Come in handy.
Oh my gosh, they are great. Remember the tofu spinach balls we made? Those. Oat cakes. I do round oat cakes, cookies. Because then you can even flatten it, right? And make like little, I make these
Patty or something.
Yeah, well, yeah, right. And then the burgers. But I make these like tahini cookies. And, you know, you can roll it and then you can flatten it and do the little crisscross so that you have even shaped.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
All right. I got it on my list of things to invest in. Right. Sometimes we got to invest in our kitchens, right?
Yeah,
Make the job easier.
Yeah, they last a long time. So these are great too because you can just put them in an airtight container and refrigerate them, and they're wonderful little snacks to
so these are ready as is. You don't need to bake them or anything. This is it.
Yeah, this is ready for you. And you can make them bigger if you want. You know, I usually nosh on 2 at a time. It's great with like a hot cup of tea. Wonderful if you're going on a hike. Wonderful if you're going on a plane ride and just want something, you know, and you get a little hungry.
Well, that's a good idea for plane travel. Yep.
Yeah.
And I think it's such a, you know, often where we get in trouble is we think we're doing so great and then we get hungry and we have nothing and we go to grab whatever is around, and that often can be like a candy bar or fast food, and that's what we're trying to avoid. So a little bit of prep and a little bit of planning can really keep you on track. So thanks for making it easy that we can make this doable.
And you can see how much it makes. I mean, you know, it makes a good amount. So I will do one more and then stop. I'll do these later. You see me roll them all out, but it doesn't take long to make.
Yeah, you could do that once a week, do it on the weekend, and you've got them ready for the week.
You can just, chat on the phone while you're rolling.
You could probably even do a big batch and freeze them, right? And kind of move them into the fridge or something.
And you can do different kinds of things to roll it in, depending upon what you like. Okay, yeah, you can see I got a big ball still to go. Put it right there, right in the middle. Okay. Okay, so we'll put this over here.
All right. Any questions, you guys? Any questions on that one?
Nice and simple.
Look like something you're willing to try. I like the cute.
One giant snack ball.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna just, before we go into the edamame, I'm gonna do a quick rinse of the food processor container, since that is a little different.
I don't remember which one we have left yet.
Edamame dip.
Yeah.
Ooh, yes.
Exactly. I love it. It's like this idea. It's the things that, sometimes you forget you have those. Maybe you bought the edamame, it's in the freezer, and you're like, oh, and it
I've
is.
done
It's
that
just so
before.
nice.
You clean out
It's,
the freezer and then you dig in the back and you're like, oh, there's that
I
package or
know.
something.
And it's
Yeah.
just a different way. You often think of eating something one way, and when Chef recommended this, I'm like, oh, please, because I love to have another idea of how to do it.
Hmm.
I never would have thought of making it a dip.
You have great protein in it too.
Yep,
Yeah,
great
healthy
source.
fats. You got the ripe
Hmm.
avocados in there,
Mm.
seasonings. I'm
And
excited to see
again,
this one.
remember they're all those recipes are in your email, but if for whatever reason I put them in the chat, you can scroll back up the chat, click on the picture, and then you can save that on your desktop somewhere if you need.
Okay. Move that up there. Okay, give it a quick rinse. With my little big ball. All right, so now got my cooked edamame, my avocado, my fresh lime juice, my fresh, let's see, can you see it? Olive oil with a little, I put the garlic in it, green onions, chili pepper, salt, pepper. I actually thought cilantro would be nice in there. So I'm adding cilantro today.
It would, a little bit of
Yeah,
freshness.
yeah. And that's my bowl for serving. And this is what I got the potted one, shelled one to use today. And what else? I guess that's it. Okay, this is a nice simple recipe. Okay, so we cook, this is 12 ounces of edamame. I cooked it according to the package directions. So it's a good amount, 12 ounces. And these instructions pretty much drain it, cool it, put it in a food processor, really put it in with everything and just blend it until it's smooth. It's the easiest way to do it. Because if you just process this, it's not going to get smooth without all the rest of the ingredients. So go.
I really do love that you brought the food processor out for a bunch of recipes because, I don't always use it and it's such a great one. And I actually bought one for my daughter because of all of this going, this is you can do so many things. So Heather, we missed you last time. Of course, someone asked about an air fryer, and Alyssa and I both laughed, saying our expert isn't here this week. But that's my next thing I'm thinking about is an air fryer.
Yeah,
Sorry, a little. Yeah.
definitely. Cuts the cooking
Yeah, I
time
want
down.
to learn more. I got the hair fryer and I'm so excited to hear, Heather, all the things that you do. I air fried some okra the other night.
Oh, nice.
That was my adventure. It was good.
Yeah.
It seems like everything I air fry, it's kind of like you have to eat it right then to have
Yeah.
full, crispy,
Hmm.
exciting.
It's also good for reheating things. So if you're worried about making
Uh,
something and sometimes you put it in the microwave and it's a little bit soggy, kind of when you putting the veggies back in the air fryer for just a couple of minutes, crisps it up
okay.
again, gives it new life.
Now, do you use the basket or do you just use a baking sheet? Mine comes with like a rack, a clear baskety rack.
Mine just has a basket.
Okay. So what about the oil coming through? Is that an issue?
It hasn't been. Mine might be a little bit different, but it just has a little kind of platform thing you put it on, and then it sits. So then, if there was any oil, it would drip through to the bottom, and then I can just wash it.
I think we're going to have you teach a class, Heather. I think we're going to add one of these culinary medicines.
Air fryer
have
class.
Heather do an air fryer class for us.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good to talk about it more.
Yep.
Mine is within the Breville oven element.
Yeah, there's so many different models now. Yeah.
So I think that's, hold on.
Mine was just a simple one at Target on sale.
And what I did love watching is like, sometimes there's lots of different ways to get your avocado out of the skin. Just don't lose any of it. Pull it around the seed. I love that you were
Well,
getting every last bit you could.
yeah, and I was just some of this, I had a bag, so I think I had 5, but avocados are just they got personality. So I was trying to get whatever little brown spots there was. I don't like them, so I was trying to just work around them. There wasn't a lot, but green onions. I've chopped up my green onions. I had a fresh lime. You could do lime or lemon. Seem to be motivated to using lime today. Some garlic and olive oil. I just had chopped up the garlic ahead of time. I thought, oh, I'll just infuse that olive oil while it's sitting.
Man, my mouth is watering already looking at
I
this.
Yeah,
know.
right.
Same
And then
here.
here I have chili powder, salt and pepper, a little bit of water. I'm going to start with not all of it. Called for half a cup. And cilantro, if you don't mind, just because that's what we can do, right? We play with recipes.
It's a lot of green. We're getting our green in, green
And I
color, eating the rainbow.
That's right. And then having the lime or lemon really brightens that up, keeps
Yeah,
it a nice color.
so true. Okay, I'm gonna go for it. Make noise.
Make noise. The nice noise, something's coming.
It's needing to be scraped off the sides. You could add sesame oil too if you wanted to make this a little different instead of the olive. Not catching. All food, food processors, different sizes, strengths, they're all a little different, so just go with it.
And Chef, I don't know if you can hear me over this. We did have a question, and I think it's so true because with cilantro, half the people like and half the people the taste thing. If you weren't going to do cilantro, what would be another good substitute? Would you think
Well,
parsley? What are some?
the original recipe didn't call for anything, but I just had some beautiful cilantro from a North Shore farm. You could do basil, you could do
Yes.
parsley. Yeah, we
Mm.
already have a little green onion in there. So it was just me adding it.
I love cilantro. I think that's the joy of as we get more comfortable with our cooking, we personalize maybe a little. Some people like a little more heat. Some people like a little
Mm-hmm,
more citrus.
mm-hmm.
You trial and error,
Yeah.
you guys.
So I love, just the option of, adjusting flavors to taste. It's kind of like my little thing at the end. Adjust flavors to taste because everyone's got different tastes. Some people like things a little more salty, more, just like you're saying. So, it's nothing has to be rigid, set in stone. My goal here, though, is at least to make this creamy. I'm going to add a little more water. Maybe that'll kickstart the a little bit more.
Heather, I bet those avocados from your tree would really make a good creamy
I am
edamame
eyeballing. I'm going to
mix.
save this recipe and try
Yeah.
that as soon as our avocado's ripe.
All right. I don't know if oh, there we go.
How am I doing on time?
That's right. We're getting so caught up. We'll give you 10 minutes, 10 more minutes.
Okay, all right. So this one, I'm just going to add the rest of the water because it seems to be what it needs. Yep. And I will process it and just stop so it's not sitting here making noise. You can get the idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a little guacamole with a hit of good protein.
I know,
there, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yep.
And I'm going to check my bars in the oven are done.
Yeah. Multitasking. And I like how, look at, we've made 3 doable snacks, right? Within maybe like a half an hour, 40 minutes.
Exactly.
You know, if we were able to do that,
Wow,
those
look at
look
Keep
that.
them
good.
nice and brown. Yeah.
Ooh, I bet your
How
house
quickly
smells good
this
too.
cooked. I bet it does. I
Yeah.
bet it. Yep.
Maybe recruit a sous chef in your house, right? A helper to help measure everything, get it set up, and then just boom, 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 throw it together in the food processor, and away you go.
Yeah.
3 snacks.
Amazing what you can do. Okay. You can see it's starting to get nice and creamy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to keep, I don't want to keep making noise if, but it's just,
It's not actually that
It
loud on
really
the.
not
isn't.
that,
Keep, yeah, I would
Mm-mm.
say do a little
just
more.
loud
I
to
would
me.
say 5 more
Yeah.
minutes. I was kind of lying. I got to give Heather a little time to talk about our
To
next
close out.
thing. I'm just so excited by this food.
I'm just going to add a few more drops of water and see if this will, oh, that was good. Again, it's always just kind of adjust based on, they weren't, the avocados weren't that big.
Mm-hmm.
I could add a little, so
Yeah, some avocados are really watery, like especially if you're
Yes.
getting local ones off the tree, right? Versus the store-bought ones. So there can be some adjustments to make there too. So this is good actually, seeing how you make those adjustments in the moment.
And you can all tell we also all like texture a different way, right? Some people
Mm-hmm.
might like it a little chunky, some people might like it really creamy. So I think that's another
Mm-hmm.
great point is just have fun with it.
Yeah. I see it getting creamier in there.
I know. I'm already feeling okay. I see what I want for the morning snack. And then, and like Heather, as this is going, or get your plate in shape. If you do that
Uh-huh.
class, what's nice is we talk about kind of the time between eating. And if you have a little longer, like between like 4 or 5 hours between your meals, you want to have a
Mm.
healthy snack to keep you
Mm-hmm.
going,
Keep your blood
right?
sugar stable.
Keep your,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're a lot less likely to overeat. We changed the idea of not grazing. There used to be this idea of grazing. We don't want you to
Mm-hmm.
graze. That can lead to mindless eating. We don't think, but having a mindful choice. Okay, I'm having a breakfast, eating maybe 4 or 5 hours later, but maybe when you're, between lunch and dinner or when you get home, having something that you can get a nice serving of, keep your energy going, maybe give you that energy before you go out and get some movement. We just want you to have some
Before
great
you head into the grocery
ideas.
store, right? Pop one of
That's
these
it.
things so you're not going in the grocery store
Exactly.
hungry on the way home.
That's
Yeah.
it. Oh, it
okay,
looks good. Look at that.
get some contrast. Oh, that's not going to do it.
Oh, now
We
we get to
got
put them all
We get to
together.
exactly. We need your other
trying to
little.
do that
I
Little
know.
screenshot.
balls.
I know. I'm going to have you turn
I'm
it.
going to get a piece of cilantro for the top.
Yeah.
Very well.
I'm going to have you move your glasses and turn the tray. How would you say that? From
Horizontal.
vertical to horizontal, so I can get a
Mm-hmm.
shot of your great food. Looks good. You guys, are you feeling like any of these are something you could do, something that doesn't seem too hard? The
Yeah, what's
idea is
one you can
hopefully,
try this
yeah,
week?
something that you have some of these in your pantry, some of these ingredients. Yeah, just move those over a little and I will take a beautiful screenshot of that.
All right. Cilantro.
Oh, look at that.
I can get those other bars too if need
Mhm.
be.
Right. Ooh,
We
okay.
got another vote for the tofu pudding last time. Justin said it was a
All
winner.
right. Nice.
Yeah, yeah. And I know Andrea had the idea, could you pair the bars with the hummus, I'm not the hummus, the edamame. I guess you called it an edamame hummus. So you could give it a try. Looks beautiful.
It really does. That's a good healthy snacks. I mean, we really have some pretty healthy snacks there.
What I like here too, there's a variety of textures and flavors,
Mm-hmm.
right? You got one that's kind of smooth and creamy, one that's crunchy, one that's kind of chewy. So depending upon, right, we each have our favorite way to snack or texture, right? What you
Mhm.
crave. Yeah, we got a lot of
And more,
options.
yeah, a little sweeter, a little more
Mm-hmm.
tart. Yeah,
Savory.
that's it. Find it. Try things, you guys. That's what we want. That's the idea. Thank you, Chef, for
Thank
making these and
you.
making it look good.
She's a pro. She fit all
Yeah,
that in perfectly.
I
Ah,
know. So that's good. Let her breathe for a moment. And Heather, if you want to kind of
Right.
close out our class, I got the picture.
cool.
That'd be great.
All
Okay,
right.
yeah, let
Thank
me
you so
put this
much.
back up. And meanwhile, you guys can continue putting any of your questions in the chat. I know
Yes.
Andrea is saying, what would you drink with it? I'd say water.
There you go. I
Yeah,
agree.
really,
I'd say
whatever.
water, although I'd be, you know me, you know what I'm going to have with one of those. I might have a little tea or coffee in the morning,
Okay, yeah.
but
Me
water, Heather, I'm
too.
with you, water or
Probably
bubbly
At
some
least
water.
stay
bubbly
more
water.
hydrated.
Yeah, a little
It's hot
sparkling
this time of
water with
year, right?
edamame. That's
Mhm.
right.
With some lime in the sparkling
Yes.
water.
Oh, we
Mm-hmm.
have endless ideas. So,
Yep.
Cucumber.
uh, well, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed our time together today. And as an incentive for you to come next week, our topic is going to be salads and roasted vegetables. So that
Yeah.
should be a really good one. We got lots of fun recipes to share with that. So we hope you'll join us again. And in the meantime, if you're looking for some support and maybe moving in this direction and having a little bit of accountability, maybe you're finding like, you know what, I'm watching this every week, but I haven't made one yet. That might be time to partner with a coach, right? We can set a goal, we can check in with each other and just say like, hey, let's make this happen. Let's get this integrated into your life versus just in the mental visual side of it. So you can call this phone number here. We can support in all these different areas here, 432-2260. In addition to that, lots of other classes. I hope you'll join us in all of them. Keep expanding your knowledge in health and well-being, anything from sleep to stress management to exercise, or maybe you're managing a specific condition like prediabetes or diabetes. We hope to see you in multiple classes and keep you moving. So with that, you guys, thank you for being here today. We wouldn't be here without you supporting us. Thank you to Chef Alyssa for her amazing skills and
Yeah.
talents and inspiration that she brings. Thank you, Allison, for all your tech and your what do you call it when you're you're
I'm your
presenting?
producer.
Producer, the
That's
producer, yeah.
it. Thank you,
Skills that
Heather.
you bring.
But you
So,
guys, we hope you're inspired. We hope you take a moment and just think about eat foods, good whole foods, not so much and mostly plants. It's the way to go. It's not a hard equation. So just take
mhm,
some time, enjoy the process. So glad you are here. And then Heather, do you have, so
yeah,
you wrote it down. Maybe go back to the one with the date. Remember our
sure.
culinary medicine's the fourth Monday of the month. I think it's August 26th
August
is our next one.
26th.
There
Yeah.
we
Mm-hmm.
go. Next one with Alyssa. So I'll write
Yep.
it in here too.
Salads and roasted vegetables.
Yum.
And considering it's still pretty warm outside, that sounds inviting, right?
It
Salads.
does. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
Yeah. Okay, great, Nancy. We'll see you next class.
Yep.
Thanks,
Bye.
Joan. Thank you,
Look forward to
Andrea.
seeing when you guys come back, if you made it, if you enjoyed it. Looking forward to hearing how it goes. Thanks for joining us, you
Absolutely.
guys.
Yeah.
I am going
Oh, you're
to, yeah.
welcome.